How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. Game 1 of the season is in the books, and it didn't go so well. But let's hop into it and see what happened. A couple things before we start. They had a graphic before the game started, and the Rangers are indeed the youngest team in the league with an average player age of just 25 and a half years old, and that youth really showed tonight. They named alternate captains. Kreider, Zibanejad, Panarin, and Trouba are all alternate captains. They haven't named an official captain yet. They might not this season. They might wait until next season, but we have 4 alternate captains. Zibanejad was in the lineup tonight after speculation that he might miss the first game because he had COVID, but he did indeed play. And then the fourth line was slightly different than what I thought it was going to be a couple nights ago. Di Giuseppe was not in the lineup tonight, and they moved Howden to right wing, slotting Rooney in the center of that fourth line. So let's hop into this game. Game starts, and wouldn't you know it, Johnson gets a penalty. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't have really a formed opinion of Johnson. I only have a negative opinion of him because other people that talk about the Rangers have a negative opinion of him, so I'm trying not to be too biased about this guy, but first penalty of the season, and it's you for holding the stick, and I'm just like, this guy. And it turns out the Islanders would take advantage of that. Nelson would score a power play goal on that power play. And then just over a minute later, Lee would score a goal, making it a very fast 2-0 for the Islanders. Lee scored that goal on a 2-on-1, and unfortunately Miller was the defenseman that was caught trying to defend that 2-on-1. He played it correctly, I guess. He gave the shot to Shesterkin, who just Lee beat him. And, I don't think Miller could have played it any better. I think Igor is the type of goalie where you want to give him the shot instead of playing it wrong and then having to have him defend against that cross-ice shot. So I think, Shesterkin just, he needed a period to kind of get cooking. It was funny, Lee was high-sticked like 30 seconds before the goal, and he was skating to the bench with a bloody lip. Like, the ref missed what would have been a 4-minute power play for the Islanders. And right as he was about to get to the bench, he gets the breakaway pass for the 2-on-1, and he ends up scoring. So it was a great first period so far. 5:45, Kakko almost tapped it in, and I'm sitting on the edge of my couch, and I really thought he was going to tap it in, but it hopped over his stick, or he fanned on it or something. I did a half jump because I thought it was going in, but unfortunately it didn't. Then at 8:33, Bailey gets a holding penalty. Obviously, the Rangers didn't score because we have a 0. And then shortly after that power play ended, Zibanejad took a slashing penalty. He lost the puck in the offensive zone and just kind of slashed to try and prevent the breakaway. And then we saw Kreider get his first shot on the penalty kill, on the second penalty kill unit, which I thought was interesting because we don't usually see Kreider playing on the penalty kill, but they need to be a little more aggressive, and Kreider's definitely the player you go to for that. And that penalty kill actually ended up giving up 0 shots to the Islanders, so it was nice to see the Rangers actually kind of turning around at this point in the first period. But 13:31, Barzal scores his first goal of the season. It was a quick snipe right over Shesterkin's left shoulder. I'm sure he would have liked to have that one back. Then shortly after that, Lafreniere, too many men on the ice. He was going for a change, and the guy that was changing for him was already on the ice. The puck was coming near him. It's just a rookie mistake. He played it when he probably shouldn't have. He probably should have just let it go by. But Lafreniere gets to serve that too many men on the ice penalty. Islanders don't score on that one, but still, at this point, the Rangers have already gotten 3 penalties, so it just, discipline was not a strong suit of the Rangers tonight. During that too many men penalty, we saw Buchnevich on the first penalty kill. He's not usually a penalty killer, but at this point, when you lose Jesper Fast, like, you need to find a way to patch the holes on the penalty kill. So Kreider got his shots tonight. Buchnevich got his shots tonight. Fox and Howden had a 2-on-1 chance, shorthanded during that penalty kill, but unfortunately they didn't get it in. And then towards the end of the period, Zibanejad had a good shot, but it just Varlamov fought it off, and he ended up with the shutout tonight. So moving on to the second period. At this point in the game, it's real. You could tell this was the first game after not playing hockey for a very long time. It felt like preseason hockey. It was just sloppy passes all over the place. People were falling down, trying to turn too fast. There's just like a lack of synergy, especially on the Rangers' part. Like, there wasn't really, I didn't feel like the Rangers were really gelling. There wasn't really any flow to their game. And it got better as the game went on, but that first period was rough. Very little sustained offensive pressure for the Rangers in that first period. But we can move on to the second period. Right off the faceoff, Martin hooking penalty against Buchnevich. Couple shots, but obviously none of them went in. Right towards the end of that power play, Lafreniere fanned on a shot that looked so good. And I'm just like, the amount of times I looked up at my ceiling tonight, just, it was so rough to watch. It was just so rough to watch. Gauthier fanned on a shot, and I'm just thinking sloppy play. Just sloppy passes, fanning on shots, just really poor shots, just bad. Lindgren got a charging penalty 3 minutes into the period. They showed the replay, and it was questionable. Like, I was worried Lindgren was going to get more than just a 2-minute penalty. He kind of went into the head of the Islander player, and I was like, oh, Lindgren, you got to be careful. Again, we see Kreider on the second penalty kill unit. He did well. He's disruptive, aggressive, not really letting the Islanders get into a flow, and Shesterkin looked a lot better on that one. And then Miller had a good point shot. He looked decent the first half of the game. Second half of the game, he wasn't really played much, but he had a good point shot. Gauthier, there was a scrum in the crease, one of many tonight, one of many scrums in the crease. Gauthier almost got it in there. And then 9:15. We're going to get to why this is super annoying over here, but just for now, the Rangers scored a goal. So it was a strong shift from the fourth line of all the lines. You know, the Rangers finally get a good shift going in this game, and it's the fourth line. It might have been Lemieux, backhand shot. It gets pinned against the pipe with Varlamov's skate, and he doesn't cover it right away. So Rangers dive and try to scramble for it, and before the whistle is blown, Trouba poked it into the net. So there's a scrum. Trouba pokes it into the net. Then the whistle is blown. They go and look at it, and they say no goal. So at this point, I'm like, I don't like that call, but whatever. I brush it off. The game's not going the Rangers' way anyway. I thought that was going to kind of be a catalyst to get them moving, but they say no goal. We'll get to why that's super annoying in the third period. At this point, Coach Quinn is doing some line juggling. Gauthier replaces Kakko on that second line, and he draws a penalty. He draws a high-sticking penalty from Barzal. Obviously, nothing happens on that power play. Shesterkin makes a great save a couple minutes later. Lafreniere gets his first official penalty as an NHL player. He gets a hooking penalty. This is the Rangers' fifth penalty so far in the game, and we're just over halfway through. Like, the discipline tonight and just the stupid mistakes were plaguing them. Lee scores a power play goal. This is Lee's second goal of the game. Like 40 seconds into the power play. Didn't take him that long. Lee has 2 goals in the game. Another scrum in the crease, and I'm thinking like, the only way the Rangers are going to score at this point is if they get one of these greasy goals where it's just in the crease and it flubs it. That's my mindset at this point. I'm losing a lot of faith at this point in the game. And then towards the end of the period, Kakko shot wide, and both he and I simultaneously just looked up at the ceiling like, you got to be kidding me. This is just sloppy play. Period ends with, Lemieux and Pajot kind of exchanging niceties. And then Pajot, around the ref, just sucker punches Lemieux right in the face. And Lemieux hits the ice. Apparently that was enough for embellishment. So we start the third period with a roughing penalty from Pajot and an embellishment penalty from Lemieux. So we start the third period 4-on-4. Rangers did, I guess, a little better in that second period. More scoring chances, but low percentage chances. And you don't want to have more low percentage chances than the other team, because then you're just warming up the other goalie. And Varlamov did play really well tonight, to his credit. All of the Islanders did. They're just, at this point, a better team. So am I shocked they won 4-0? No. But is it disappointing? Yes, of course it is. So we get into the third period, starts 4-on-4, and then freaking DeAngelo, man. He's just... he annoyed me tonight, too. A minute into the period, double minor. So he gets a holding penalty, and of course, with DeAngelo, that's not it. The fun still continues. He doesn't like the call, skates to the penalty box, slams the door shut, so the ref gives him an unsportsmanlike. So he gets a double minor. So now the Rangers have to kill off about 3 minutes of penalties because DeAngelo can't keep his head on straight. Zibanejad did have a nice shorthanded chance in the midst of all of that, but didn't go in, obviously. And they kill off 3 minutes of penalties. So the penalties kill did get better because they had so many chances to be on the ice. By the end of the game, the Rangers had 8 penalties. So that's something that needs to change. Rooney was hit pretty hard by Johnson on the Islanders. I don't think it was intentional by Johnson. Rooney was looking at the play and he was skating away. He had his head turned and Johnson just freaking ran right through him. And Rooney just hit the ice. He left the game after that, so almost halfway through the third period, Rooney leaves the ice, so we'll see if he plays on Saturday. And then Barzal had a takeaway about 8 minutes into the period. He stripped Fox, which I thought was weird because we don't usually see Fox make too many defensive errors. But Barzal gets in there, strips the puck from Fox, and he's alone against Igor. But Igor shuts him down, and Barzal was making all the moves. He was trying his hardest, but Igor said no. And then 8:45. Yes, so Igor makes a great save, like cross ice, makes the save, but the puck ends up in the crease, and Igor's off to the side after making that, and the puck's just sitting there. So Eberle dives for the puck to try and get it in the net at the same time as Shesterkin goes over to save it, and Eberle just crashes into Igor. Igor's laying on the ice for a couple minutes, like he was dazed after that. But the puck ended up going in. And the play went under review, and they watch it, and the puck did go in. So the refs review the play, they come back out and they say, good goal, because it went in before the whistle. And it's at that point I got so frustrated, because if that's the reason you're going to call this a goal, then why wasn't this a goal? That went in before the whistle, and yet you said no goal. And then over here, it went in before the whistle, and you called it a goal. So, as a Rangers fan, I was incredibly frustrated. Luckily, Quinn did a coach's challenge, goalie interference, obviously, because Eberle just steamrolled Shesterkin, and then the puck went in. So the refs looked at the play for like 2 seconds and then came back out and said, yeah, no goal. So that felt a little better, but like the consistency was not fantastic with the goal calling tonight. Martin had a good shot off the crossbar, and then it was a pretty boring final 10 minutes of the game. I'm not going to lie. I found myself checking my phone often during the last 10 minutes of this game. It was not fantastic hockey. You could tell a lot of the players were tired at this point. This is the first full game of hockey these guys have played since August, so it was a little rough. Both Miller and DeAngelo didn't really play that much in the third period. DeAngelo was in timeout after the double minor, and he didn't really play until the last 3 minutes. Miller was benched for a good part of the last half of the game, so Quinn is, he's keeping the players honest, even in game one, which I thought was good to see, especially DeAngelo. He deserved to be in timeout. And then, of course, we end the game with another penalty, Zibanejad slashing for a total of 8 penalties. The Islanders had 8 power plays tonight, and they scored on 2 of them. So that has to get better. Final shots, Rangers 24, Islanders 33. Rangers 42% of the faceoff. That needs to get better too. It was worse in the beginning of the game. The Rangers got better as the game went on. They went 0 for 3 on the power play. Hits 24-25. Islanders had more, and then blocks. Rangers had 11. Islanders had 20. They always do the Cadillac trivia. So tonight it was, who was the last Rangers teenager to score in a season opener? I had no idea, but apparently it was Mike Allison on October 9th, 1980. He was 19 years old. So if you knew the answer to that, well done. You know more about the Rangers than I do. Just some final thoughts. Scrimmage is not the same as a game. And the young players especially realized that tonight. Tonight was rough. But they played a team that's, known for having fantastic shutdown defense. So that kind of takes the edge off a little bit. And also, the Islanders are pretty much the same exact team as they were last season. There weren't a lot of different players from the Islanders tonight, and that helps because they're used to playing together. So they obviously was going to play better. The Rangers, look considerably different in terms of players than they did last season, and that probably didn't help. Shesterkin, rough first period, but he got better as the game went on. They said Georgiev played all 4 games against the Islanders last year, and he won 3 of them, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Georgiev in net on Saturday, since they're playing the Islanders again on Saturday at MSG at 7 o'clock. The passing needs to get way better, super sloppy from both teams, and I think the main takeaway from this is that the Rangers just need more time to play together. Like I said in my season preview, the first 2-3 weeks of this season, it's their preseason games. This is where the Rangers are gonna, take their licks because they need to learn how to play together. And that was very apparent tonight. So yeah, next game is Saturday against the same team, same place, same time. Hopefully it goes better. I hope. I don't mind if the Rangers lose again. I just want it to be close, and I would like to see the first goal of the season, at some point this week, because so far we don't know who's going to score the first goal of the season. Hopefully it's on Saturday. But if you like this video and you want to see more like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.